welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something that seems, well, pretty straightforward on the surface.
Right, just a conversation.
Exactly. A script between four friends, Sarah, Tom, Mia, and David, just talking about their weekend plans. But there's actually quite a bit going on under the hood here.
Oh, absolutely. It looks simple, but it's really a blueprint, isn't it? For how people, try to manage their time, balance things out.
That's what we're diving into, not just the words, but the structure.
Right.
Our mission, really, is to pull out the core architecture of what makes, a well-rounded modern weekend.
Yeah, moving past the dialogue to see the patterns. How do they juggle duty, fun, seeing people, and just collapsing?
Yeah, collapsing is important. So we'll break down their Saturday, which is pretty packed. Then look at their Sunday, which is noticeably, deliberately slower.
The decompression phase.
Totally. And finally, we'll get into the language clues, how they signal commitment. Because the little details, like someone's grandma making apple pie, that's what makes it all stick, makes it feel real.
Those specifics are key.
Okay, let's unpack this. So Saturday, it really jumps out as the scheduled day, doesn't it?
It really does. If you look at the source material, Saturday is heavily weighted towards things that are external, outward-facing, planned activities.
Things you have to do or feel you should.
Kind of, yeah. It seems to satisfy that need for, social connection, getting out, maybe physical activity stuff. The normal work week maybe doesn't allow for as much.
Right. So Sarah's plan is a great example. She's visiting her grandparents.
Which sounds lovely, but it's also a big commitment.
Yeah, countryside, 2 hours away by train. That's a significant travel.
4 hours round trip just in travel time. It really underscores how family obligations often anchor the start of the weekend and they take priority. Serious logistics involved.
And the activities there, gardening, cooking, old movies.
Yeah.
Sounds nice and restorative.
It does, but Sarah mentions something specific, doesn't she?
Yes. The crucial detail. Her grandma makes the best apple pie.
Exactly. And that's not just like a throwaway comment. It's the reward. It's the specific, highly anticipated payoff that makes 4 hours on a train feel worth it.
The cost-benefit analysis of weekend plans. I like that. Without the pie, maybe it feels more like just duty.
It could easily tip that way, yeah. That sensory detail anchors the value.
Okay, so that's Sarah family duty plus reward. How does that contrast with, say, Tom's plan?
Well, Tom's plan is geared more towards fitness, but also nature. He's going hiking.
Right, a new trail near Green Hill Park, 5 kilometers.
And he mentions the goal is an easy pace, taking photos, enjoying the view. So it's not like a forced march.
Still, it's planned activity. Is it pure relaxation or maybe something else?
That's a good question. I sort of wonder if it's another form of, self-care duty, like ticking the exercise box for the weekend, but making it social and Instagrammable.
Turning exercise into social exploration and, content.
It definitely hits two birds with one stone, fulfills that need to be active, but in a way that's also about connection and experience.
Got it. Okay, then there's Mia. Her Saturday seems all about reconnecting.
Yeah, pure social focus. She's meeting her cousin for lunch.
And the cousin's just back from studying abroad, right? Canada.
For almost a year. Studying English and business. So this lunch isn't just casual. It's like a proper welcome back, a relationship investment.
They're going to a new Italian place downtown, Bella Pasta.
And notice how Tom jumps in with a food recommendation.
Oh, yeah. The margarita pizza.
See, that little detail reinforces their shared world, their group knowledge. These plans aren't happening in a vacuum. They're woven into their social fabric, their local knowledge.
That makes sense. And Mia's afternoon? She doesn't stop there?
No, she pivots straight to shopping, needs a new jacket for autumn.
So connection first, then a bit of, retail therapy, practical prep.
All of the above, probably. It's consumption, maybe a personal reward, but also practical. That jacket is another tangible thing she gets out of the day.
Okay, interesting mix. And finally, David. His Saturday starts differently.
Yeah, David starts with work in the morning, a bit of a constraint. Then it's straight to physical release, football in the park with friends.
And he does this almost every weekend, it says.
Right, it's like a ritual for him. Relaxation, exercise, social time, all rolled into one regular event. Consistency.
So Saturday overall, it's the doing day. Fulfilling obligations, getting exercise, seeing people, the sprint, like you said.
It really is. It feels like compensation for the week, high output, driven maybe by that pressure to maximize the weekend, Experience everything.
And heavily pre-planned.
Has to be, right. Because it involves other people, specific places, travel times. These aren't spontaneous decisions. They're pretty much locked in. Non-negotiable, mostly.
Okay, but that sounds kind of exhausting, just laying it all out.
It can be, which probably explains why Sunday looks so different.
Right. That leads us perfectly into section 2, the art of the slow Sunday, the deliberate deceleration, what happens after that Saturday sprint.
The shift is pretty dramatic. The focus turns inward. It's about recovery, home, personal space.
Like Mia's plan. What's she doing?
Mia says she'll just stay home, maybe clean her room, watch a movie.
The domestic reset. Cleaning the room that feels very symbolic of, like, clearing the decks before Monday.
Exactly. After all that external activity on Saturday, she needs internal order, maintenance, tackling those little jobs you ignore all week.
Definitely. If you don't, they just loom over you Sunday night.
Ah.
Okay, what about Tom? More hiking.
Oh, no. Tom is going for pure rest. He says he'll probably just relax at home, maybe read a book or finish this new show he started.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned the show, The Travel Diaries.
That's the one, about people visiting different countries, learning about the culture.
Huh. Interesting choice. He's resting at home, physically grounded, but mentally, he's traveling.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Maybe it's aspirational escape, watching others travel while he recharges.
A low-energy way to satisfy wanderlust. It's a neat contrast to Sarah's very high-energy travel commitment on Saturday.
It really is. The body rests, the mind travels via screen. It fulfills a desire without the logistical effort.
So we have Mia doing domestic reset, Tom doing passive media consumption. David Sunday, is he resting too?
David finds a kind of middle ground, actually. He's not just resting, but he's not out socializing widely either.
Okay.
He's visiting his sister. She just moved into a new apartment, and he's going to help her decorate.
Okay. So still active, but focused on immediate family. Relational duty, but maybe more practical.
Exactly. It's practical help, maintaining that core family bond.
Yeah.
It's only a 30-minute bus ride, so manageable.
And he's bringing something specific.
Yes. Plants for her balcony. It's tangible help, a contribution. His Sunday isn't necessarily restful for him physically, but it's restorative for the relationship, which is, just as important for long-term well-being.
So Sunday overall feels like boundary setting, pulling back from the wider world.
I think that's a great way to put it. The focus tightens. It's either personal recovery cleaning, reading, watching TV, or essential support for immediate family. The appointments with the broader social circle seem off the table.
It's like a required cycle then. High energy social output Saturday.
Followed by focused emotional and physical replenishment on Sunday.
Yeah, ensuring you're actually functional for Monday morning.
Precisely. Resetting the system.
Okay, this brings us to something really fascinating in the script, how they talk about these plans. The language itself. This is section 3, looking at the linguistic clues.
Yes, this is where you see the level of commitment really clearly. How they phrase things tells you everything about whether a plan is solid or just, an idea.
And you, the listener, can probably notice this in your own conversations too.
Definitely. It's about the grammar they use for future plans.
Let's start with the really solid ones, Sarah says.
I'm going to visit my grandparents.
And Mia.
I'm meeting my cousin for lunch.
Okay, so that I'm doing structure, the present continuous for the future, what does that signal?
It signals an arrangement. Something has already been organized, often involving other people. Like Sarah's probably got her train ticket. Mia and her cousin have agreed on the time and place.
Right. These aren't just vague intentions. They're locked in.
Yeah.
They rely on someone else showing up too.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable, like we said about Saturday.
Exactly. Fixed points in the schedule.
But then compare that to the Sunday language. Much softer.
Much softer. Tom says, I'll probably just relax at home.
Yeah, Mia says, I'll just stay home. Maybe clean my room.
See the difference? Probably, maybe, combined with the simple I will or I'll.
Yeah, what does that tell us?
It signals likelihood or just intention, but with loads of flexibility. It depends entirely on them how they feel Sunday morning. There's no external dependency.
Okay. So that language basically tells everyone else, this plan is for me, it might change, don't rely on it.
Exactly. It manages expectations. It avoids overcommitment, especially for those restorative Sunday activities. Very efficient, socially.
That clarity is key. And they don't just stop planning it Sunday night, do they? There's a little hint of looking further ahead.
Yeah, briefly. They touch on the next long weekend. An idea floats around about going to the beach if the weather holds up.
And maybe planning a small trip together.
Right. It shows that future anticipation is always there, kind of bubbling under the surface. It's part of the cycle. Planning the next break helps you get through the current routine.
Just like the specific rewards help get through the weekend tasks. The apple pie for Sarah's train ride.
Or the new jacket for Mia, or Tom's pizza recommendation.
Even David bringing the plants for his sister's balcony.
Yes, those concrete details are crucial. They ground the plans in reality. They make them relatable, memorable. If it was just, I'm visiting family, I'm exercising, I'm resting, it would be so flat.
But the specifics give it texture. We can almost taste the pie, picture the plans.
Exactly. That's the flavor of real life woven into the planning.
So bringing this all together, what's the big takeaway from this seemingly simple conversation?
Well, I think the takeaway is that it actually provides a pretty successful template for how people try to juggle modern life's demands, that balancing act.
Balancing what exactly?
Family duty, physical activity, social connection, getting specific treats or rewards, and making deliberate time for rest and tackling those small home tasks.
They managed to get it all in, splitting the weekend effectively into go and slow.
Yeah, they ticked the boxes. Did you connect with family or friends? Check. Did you move your body? Check. Did you get or enjoy something specific and nice, like food or an item? Check. And crucially, did you build in time to just stop and recharge? Check.
So for you listening, maybe take a look at your own upcoming weekend. Does it look anything like this?
Yeah, do you consciously split your time like this? Is there a clear go day, like Sarah's trip or Tom's hike?
And a slow day, like Mia cleaning her room or Tom watching his travel show? Or does it all just kind of blur together?
It's worth thinking about. And maybe one final thought to leave you with.
Ooh, okay. A provocative one.
Maybe a little. We talked about all the anticipation built into these plans, the specific rewards like the pie, the jacket, even looking ahead to a possible beach trip.
Right.
So consider this. Does the whole process of planning the weekend, structuring it, anticipating those little rewards, does that itself sometimes feel like a mini vacation?
How do you mean?
Well, does the mental act of organizing the break, breaking the routine, even just in your head, maybe provide some of the necessary mental escape before the weekend even starts? Is the planning part of the pleasure, part of the break itself?
Is the blueprint as important as the building? Interesting thought to chew on.
All right, let's dive into one of the most common and, sometimes kind of tricky conversations you'll have in English, talking about your weekend plans. We're going to break it all down so you can handle it with total confidence. You've heard it a million times, right? So what are you doing this weekend? It's such a simple question, but, finding the perfect words can feel a little tough. Well, don't worry. By the end of this, you're going to have a complete toolkit to nail this conversation every single time. So, to see how this all works in real life, we're not just going to talk about rules. Nope. We're going to look at a real chat between four friends. By seeing what they say and how they say it, we can pull out all the key phrases and tricks you'll need. Okay, so let's meet our friends. We've got Sarah, who's visiting her grandparents. There's Tom, he's planning on going hiking. Then we have Mia, she's having lunch with her cousin. And finally, David, who's going to be playing football. 4 different people, 4 pretty normal weekend plans. Let's see how they talk about them. First things first, let's talk about asking questions. A good conversation always kicks off with a good question, and just knowing how to ask is really the first big step to having a great chat. So check out how Mia starts things off here. She says, "What are you all doing?" That little word all is perfect. It's super friendly, and it's a great way to ask a whole group at once. It just opens the door for anyone to jump in. A fantastic way to start. And here, this is a great little trick for keeping the conversation flowing. After Sarah shares her plan, she easily passes it over to Tom by saying, "What about you, Tom?" That simple phrase, "What about you?" is just a super easy, really natural way to bring someone else into the conversation. Now, this is really important. The first question is just the beginning. A real conversation, a good one, happens when you show you're actually interested by asking for a few more details. You can't just ask the first question and then stop. And just look at these examples from their chat. When Sarah says she's visiting her grandparents, David asks, "Do you go there often?" Or when Tom mentions hiking, he asks, "Is it difficult?" See, these little follow-up questions, they're what show you're really listening and that you actually care about the details. Okay, so you know how to ask the questions. Awesome. But now, How do you answer them? Let's look at the best ways to talk about your own plans, whether they're totally set in stone or, well, maybe just an idea for now. Now, these two right here are the most important phrases you're going to need. Just listen to how different they sound. Sarah says, I'm going to visit my grandparents. That's a definite plan. It's happening. But then Tom says, I'll probably just relax. That's just a possibility. The words you choose really signal how certain your plans are. Let's break down that first one. For any plan that is confirmed, 100% happening, you just use this super simple formula. I'm going to, plus whatever you're doing. I'm going to visit. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to meet my friends. It's clear, it's easy, and it's perfect for those fixed plans. Okay, but what about your other plans? You know, the ones that might happen, but you're not totally sure yet. That's where I'll probably comes in. I'll probably stay home. I'll probably do some shopping. This is the perfect way to talk about ideas without making it sound like a definite promise. All right, we've covered asking and we've covered answering. The final piece of the puzzle is reacting. Seriously, how you respond when someone shares their plans is just as important as what you say about your own. And here is a perfect example from David. When Sarah talks about visiting her grandparents, he doesn't just nod or say, okay. He says, oh, nice, that sounds relaxing. This simple, positive reaction shows he's paying attention, and it makes Sarah feel good about sharing. You know, these little phrases are kind of like social glue. They're not just words, they're signals. They tell the other person, hey, I'm listening and I'm connecting with you. This is what makes a conversation feel warm and friendly, instead of like an interview. And this slide shows a simple but really powerful technique. You combine a positive reaction with a follow-up question. Mia does this perfectly with Tom. First, the reaction. That sounds fun. Then she follows it with a question. Is it difficult? This little two-step combo, it's the secret to being a fantastic conversationalist. And here are a few more awesome reactions from our friends' chat. You've got, that sounds lovely, or, oh wow, that's exciting. Even Tom's funny reaction to hearing about apple pie. Now I'm hungry. You should definitely keep these in your back pocket to make your chats way more lively. Okay, we've analyzed the whole conversation, so let's put it all together now. Think of this as your complete toolkit with all the essential phrases for talking about your weekend. First up, for asking questions. Here's your cheat sheet. You've got your main openers. You've got that essential phrase, what about you, to pass the conversation along. And you've got simple follow-ups, like, and Sunday, to get a few more details. You're all set. And next, for answering and reacting, just remember your two main ways to share plans. I'm going to, for those definite plans, and I'll probably, for the possible ones. And of course, don't forget your list of awesome, positive reactions to show you're a great listener. This toolkit has got you totally covered. So we started with a question, and now I'm going to turn it back to you. What are you going to do this weekend? Really think about your answer using our new toolkit. Is it a definite plan, something you'll use going to for, or is it more of a possibility where you'd use I'll probably? You know, the best way to learn any of this is just by doing it. So here's a little challenge for you. Just try to use one new phrase from this explainer this week. Ask a friend, what are your weekend plans? Or tell someone, that sounds fun. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to talk about the weekend, it's to connect with people. Good luck, and I hope you have a great weekend.